two things that I like in life. Number one is things that are free, and number two is things that need taking to bits. I was on Facebook and I saw there was a coffee machine that was faulty. It was going free. If nobody collected it, they were going to chuck it in the bin. We can't be having that if we can save it and get it working again. Lisa was out and about, so I got in touch with Lisa and I said, do us a favour, nip and collect this coffee machine for me. I'd already messaged the person that was giving it away, and they said, how long will you be? And I said, 2 minutes. Let's take a look at what I've got. Behold, the Nespresso Magimix. Now, they did say it wasn't working, and it appears to be quite a common fault. Down here, the pods go in this bit here, kaplunk like that. Then you push that lever down and the water should come out here into your cup. But what actually happens is it comes out of there and also into this area here, which is supposed to hold the used pods, basically. Now, it is quite a common fault, so I thought, hey, let's take it to bits and we'll have a look and see if we can get it working again. We have purchased some pods to test it. It is quite a nice model, this one. I think the original new price seems to be about £200. I don't know how far I am off the mark there. But it's also got the milk frother with it as well, with the adapter in. And we also found the other adapter which hides under here. So we've got both adapters. So if we can get this working, it will be quite good, to be fair. To take this apart though, we are going to need some special security screws, because here they do have these what are called oval security bits. I have tried 3D printing one, it just didn't work. I tried a pair of pliers on it, they were slipping. So we've ordered the security bit from Amazon. It was £5.15. I'll put the link in the description. I'll be back when the part arrives. See you in a bit. Right, we're on to the good part. We're going to take this unit to bits and see if we can get a fix on it. First of all, remove all of the extra stuff that you don't need. So that's the milk frothing unit. We can remove the water container at the back. We can remove the drip tray from the front, the cup holder and pod collector. Make sure the unit isn't plugged in, otherwise when you take it to bits you might find you've got a little tickle on your arm, which you don't want. You're going to need a security screw bit, and this here is oval, and that goes with the screws at the bottom. So you're going to need to get one of those from Amazon. I did try and make one and I didn't have any success because it just spun on the screws here. There's 9 screws in total. We can see that on camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And to get a screwdriver handle on this security bit, you're going to need a 4mm hex bit, which is what I've got here. Okay, we're going to undo these screws and see what we've got underneath. There's our 9 bits out of the base. I'm going to turn the unit up right now. The aim now is to lift this up a bit here, and then we should be able to pop off these 2 side panels. We've got one on this side and one on this side. This will allow us access to the top part where the brewing head is, which is this mechanism here coming out of this nozzle here, and it's underneath this top section here. The reason you need to undo the screws on the base is because you have these locating fingers or locking fingers here, which are located on the side panels, and then they lock into the base unit and prevent that from being removed. I've started off by working down this side here with the pry tool just to release the clips that's underneath holding this side panel into place. And then eventually you'll be able to remove the side completely. It'll just hinge away from this locator at the front here. There's the locating fingers at the bottom of the side plate, which is why you need to release the bottom screws just to allow those to be clear of the actual base plate itself. Put that to one side and it's time to do the other side. If this unit doesn't just fall off, it's located here by these two clips. And you just pop a screwdriver in there and depress in and it'll pop off. I'm going to pop this in some hot water and washing up liquid to give it a bit of a clean while we've taken it off. Next we want to be removing this top cover here, which will give us access to the brewing mechanism which is under here, but we're going to want to remove this little circuit board that's under here. First off, we're going to remove this cover. We need to be careful with this part, and then we're going to pop that little retainer down, and that'll allow us to pivot up the board and remove the circuit board out of the machine and out of the cable clips down the side here. And we'll do the same on this other side here. There's two strong plastic clips here and here on this side, and there's two more on the other side. We're going to want to depress those while at the same time lifting this plastic assembly in this direction so that they're clear of those plastic clips. While you're doing that, be careful of this cabling from this button as well. That should allow us to remove this plastic cover. That's that out of the way. To remove this brewing mechanism, there's 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. And also there's this water feed that goes into here that is secured by that metal clip just there. So we're going to want to get a small screwdriver under there and push that way so we can remove the locking clip. That'll allow us to take out this water feed cable. Then we shall undo these Torx bits. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're removing this water feed, just be aware that depending on how the handle is for the pods, it will retract that pipe in there and make it hard to get to, so lift that up for easier access. That's the clip out, and we'll recover that now. Now with that out, we should be able to withdraw this water feed pipe. You'll need a T10 to undo these screws. We're then going to remove the nozzle from the front of the brewing unit, and there's some little plastic clips here and here, and then once they're loosened we'll lift the brewing unit up, and that'll allow us to remove this fully. as we can see here, the signs of lots of dried coffee. So that's a good sign that the problem is due to this area here, behind here, which has got blocked, and we'll remove that next. Saw all the coffee that was blocked in this nozzle here. Just to explain the operation, when you get one of these pods, you drop them in here, and then you're going to push down on the lever. That lever is going to push the pod forward onto this plate behind here. And as you can see there, those pyramid shapes puncture the front foil of the pod, and there's little holes in there as well that allow the flow of the coffee and water to pass through into the nozzle and then down into your cup. And what happens is those little holes that are in this item here, they get blocked up. So because of that, the water can't flow through, so it prefers to go straight down instead. And that's what results in the leak into the container that catches the used pods. This is the brewing mechanism removed, and the item that we're after is just here. And what we're going to do is pop a screwdriver in and just gently lever it that way, which will allow it to move backwards, and we can then extract it. This is the item that we wanted access to. As we can see, there's quite a lot of those holes that are blocked. We're going to give that a good clean, and we're going to unblock all of those holes. While this item's apart, I'm just going to give it a good clean in all these areas that you can't normally get to. Now there is another O-ring seal which is going to be somewhere under this part here. And fingers crossed that's okay. We'll just try the repair that we've done for now, and we'll see if that's enough to cure it. If not, we'd have to get one of those O-rings and take all this apart to access this area here to change that. But we'll try for now, just assuming it just needs a clean at this front end. As you can see, I've cleared all of those holes and they're all unblocked now. Just to talk about putting this disc back in. When it goes back in, you want to make sure that these raised pyramid sections are going to go in and point towards the pod. You don't want to put it in. You don't want to put it in like that, otherwise when the pod presses against it, you'll not pierce the foil and nothing will come out. So make sure it goes in this way. I forgot to take a picture of this before I took it out. I'm going to assume that this little notch here lines up with this here, and that would make sense because on the opposite side we can see some marks here, there and there, which will line up from where I levered it under here. So I think that's right. I'm not going to stress out too much over it, but yeah, we're going to put that back in. Make sure these raised areas go towards the foil of the pod when the pod goes in. And all we're going to do, we're going to line that up. With that notch lined up with this area here. And we're going to press that into place. There we go, that's that reassembled. We're now going to fit the brewing head unit back in the machine. I'm going to clip this nozzle back into place onto the brewing head. That's that bit done. Fit and tighten the 4 T10 screws that hold the brewing head on. Before you do these up, you need to make sure that the plastic that extends down from this nozzle here goes behind this plastic here on the front. Push this water feed pipe back in and make sure that it's located behind this here, just to keep it all in line. And then we need to refit the retaining clip. Refit this upper housing and make sure that this cable assembly is clear this side and this side before you push down the top of the housing to get those clips into place. We can now refit these little circuit boards. Looking at how these shells clip together, as you can see, you're going to want to put the left hand side one on first as you look in at the front of the machine, and that'll allow the right hand side to clip into these top parts here. Make sure these buttons here locate correctly as you put the sides back on. To finish reassembly, fix these 9 security screws back into position underneath. Tighten up all the 9 screws underneath using the security bit. And pop the front nozzle cover back into place.